Hello guys, this is Mr. Choco Guy in Japan and welcome to my new video. So, it's been a long time since I've done a vlog. So, this vlog is all about my visa status here in Japan. So, would I recommend being a student here or not? So, there are positive and negative sides of this video. So, you watch it until the end of the video. Thank you. To make this video easier to understand, I will have or cut this video into different parts para mas madali po nating maintindihan about this program. So, first part, what is the program? So, this is a student visa program. There's a lot of company in the Philippines, but I won't tell what company I applied because that's not my I'm not advertising them. So the program is all about you coming here in Japan as a student. So kailangan mo mag-aral ng Japanese. That's the most important one. The Japanese for at least a length of time from 1.5 years to 2 years. It depends upon your course or it depends upon kung kailan ka dumating dito. So if you went here on April, you're gonna have to study for 2 years. So if you went here on October, you come here in October, that will be 1.5 year. That's my program, 1.5 year. So gagraduate ako. I came here last year in October. So gagraduate ako next year on March. So what's inside the program? So, as I said, you have to study the Japanese language. So, why do we need to study Japanese language? Kasi po, for different reason. First, if you want to go to higher education or what we call the shingaku, or proceed to higher education means college or masters, so you have to learn the language. Or you want to work here and have a working visa, that means you really need to learn the language. So that's the most important part. So I think I'm done explaining the program. So I'm going to go to the next question. Why would you come here? So daitay or most likely or kasagaran sa mga taong muadhi diriha or the people who will come here for the reason that we wanted to work, right? So we wanted to have an opportunity here in Japan. But to be honest, it's not that easy. So it's a very long process and very expensive one. So this program alone is very expensive. So kasi compared sa mga other classmates that I have, lahat sila dito pumunta to study, proceed for next education to college or senmongako or vocational school. So most of the Filipinos came here for opportunity to work. So that's the difference. So it's really hard for us Filipinos na pumunta dito to get the opportunity because this student visa is only for those, I think it's for those who wanted to work, but the opportunity is much more higher for those who wanted to study for higher education. So third question, how much is the cost? So I think I'll have to make another video for this one, but the cost was like, before I came here, bago ako dumating dito sa Japan, my parents spent more or like 500,000 peso, and that's only for your pocket money, your first semester here in Japan, and also for your first semester for your dormitories. The rest, after pagdating mo dito, it's more on to you. So because you're gonna be working and studying here, so you have to pay for your own bills and your own tuition for the next coming. So how much is one per semester? So I have my invoice from my school, so I have to cut it. So see the price. it's 340,000 yen. In peso, that's more like 150, 170, 150, 160,000 pesos per semester. So you're gonna be working here and you have to kailangan mo mag-ipon for like 6 months para ipunin ang ganyang kalaking pera. Not to mention that you have to pay for electricity bills, for your food, for your house, for your dormitories, and daitay, same amount lang din. So it's like for 6 months you have to ipon like 600, like 300,000 pesos for 6 months here. So tanungin mo, you ask me if kaya ko bang magpadala ng pera while being a student here to the Philippines. The answer is no. So, but it's not impossible. It's still possible for you to send money back into the Philippines, but remember, the importance of this program is the language, your school. So, if mag-work ka too much, you will be losing focus on your studies. And if you lose focus in studies, after ng ilang taon mong pag student visa dito, wala kang mapapala. Nakakapagdala ka nga, pero to mind you, that will not be enough. That will not be enough to pay your debt if nangutang ka ba sa Pinas before papunta dito. So I recommend you should focus on your study. But it's very hard kasi to balance the life of working and studying. And also you have to think that you have to live. You know, hindi siya madali. So for those people who think they can do it, I will recommend you to come here. But for those people thinking na may family or kailangan magpadala ng money every month or may utang sa Pinas, it's not really easy. How hard studying Japanese? So, to be honest, the language itself is very hard. So, there are different component parts of the language, from grammar, listening, writing, kanji, different forms of speaking. It's not really easy, I mind you. So, can I come here in Japan without like interest of learning the language? Without interest of kaya hindi ka interesado, or if you're not interested to learn the language but you just wanted to earn? The answer is no. Because learning the language and the school is the lifeline of your visa here. And not just the lifeline, but also your weapon after mo pag-graduate. So if you just think you can work while being a student here, yeah, you can work. But after ng 2 years na pinaghirapan mo, will it be worth it? Meron ka bang makukuha? Because even for those who work hard on their studies, it's not 100% sure na meron silang mapapala after graduation. So I recommend to come here if you're willing to learn the language. If you're not, just thinking of the future, sinasayang mo lang ang pera ng parents mo, I guess. So, next is the life here in Japan. So, what do you expect of a life of being a student? So, it's not that easy, again, kasi you have to study and work at the same time. Sometimes, if you over-focus on work, mawawalan ka ng focus sa study. That means, yung lifeline ng visa mo. But if you will not focus on work, wala ka namang pambayad at saka pangbuhay dito sa Japan. So, the everyday life of a student visa or Japanese learners, we're compromised to make lots of homeworks per day, kanji, grammar, anything. And if you're starting doing the homework, if kakasimula mo pa lang dito, it's very difficult because you have to stuff you a lot of things. But when you get by and sa katagalan, parang mas madali na lang kasi you learn all the basics, you've learned all the stuff. So I think it's much more easier. At saka alam mo din paano mangopya. Okay. And Also, um, though you're earning a very high amount of money, but thinking that half of it every month will go to your tuition, you'll not be able to enjoy. Like, I imagine when I come here, I will be traveling to Tokyo, Osaka, or Kyoto every month or stuff like that, because like the salary is really high. It's enough for you to travel different places, but then again, you have to mind your tuition. And some of the Filipinos I know, they have to send money back to the Philippines because they didn't know that the situation is like this. So they have to gambate. So that's really hard. The life, although you can tipid naman. You can tipid konyo. But you can save money by not spending too much on convenience store or cooking your own dishes. That's one way. Or bubili ka ng grocery sa dapit hapon para medyo 30% or 70% na lang ang price. So, ganun na lang yung ginagawa namin para makatipid. Or sometimes, pa-noodles na lang. Sa Pinas, hindi ko paborito yung noodles, pero dito wala kang choice if nagtitipid ka. And yeah, it's not really easy. The last question is, after graduation, do you have a future? That's the real question here, because it's not 100% sure that after you graduated from a language school, you will be having a future here in Japan. That's not really. Unless if nakapag-asawa ka ng hapon or something. If you're very lucky enough to have a sponsor, or yung mga my future talaga dito is those people who have families here. I recommend people to come here if they have family members who is very willing to help them. But if there's none, kahit na may family member ka, mahirapan din sila pagtulong sa'yo. You will not be having problem finding work. However, to be able to stay here, hindi din sila masyadong makakatulong sa'yo unless they know someone. Unless if you met your love of your life or someone who wants to marry you, I guess that's it. But for me, I'm not interested of getting married for now. So I'm interested of believing on my knowledge and my paggambate o na lang talaga. So I'm not really sure. Even right now, you should, before you come here, after school, you should already have a plan of what is going to do next. And there are different ways. Maraming work dito, but the one who will give a visa for you to stay is caregiving. But right after school for 2 years or 1 year and a half here, hindi ka makakabibigyan agad ng visa niyan. Kasi I have known some people who are also student visa. They think they will be given like a visa for caregiving, but hindi sila pinalad. Maybe because they have to study for additional 2 years of doing the same shit. Yeah, 2 years of doing the same shit. And that's after you have license, and that's where the company can sponsor you, because they cannot sponsor you if you don't have license and if you didn't study here for a caregiving visa. So that's like another 2 years of shit. No. So also, if you have a very high Japanese language proficiency level, or the GLPT, N2 or N3. N2 is very good. N2 means company will be looking for you, company will be grabbing you. However, N3, it's a passing score for them, so there will be doubts whether they accept you or not. Except if may backer ka. But if you don't, So my last option here is to be an English teacher. I'm trying to apply before my graduation. I will be applying as an English teacher. Kaya nga, grabe ta maka-English diri aron. Pero ambot lang. I don't know if my English is really acceptable. So, yeah, I hope so. That's the only option for you to stay because there's a lot of companies looking for as an English teacher. So being an English teacher here in Japan is actually a linkin or a needed job. So, but I recommend for you to apply in the Philippines. If you want to be an English teacher here, there's a lot of opportunities in the Philippines to look for as an English teaching job here in Japan. So I guess I would have to I want to recommend you that option because it's less gastos and less you don't have to like study here for 2 years. You don't need it in any Japanese level actually. So my option is if I don't get into by the end of graduation, I have to apply for an English teaching job. So, and also the pay is very high. So that's like the option. Yeah, but but I don't want you to get discouraged of not applying or not continue your application if you already have started. This is only for you to know what's on the ground or what is happening here. But maybe my situations and my friend's situation and my senpai situations are not the same to other people you've known. So, di kasi kami yung pareho ng situation, but it's not easy. Nothing is easy. So you have to work hard for it. But if you're willing to risk, go for it. I'm not telling you no. This video is not to say, oh, don't come here in Japan. This video is for you to know what's on the ground, what's happening. Okay? This is not to say no. So I hope for your success if you're gonna do this program. And one thing I remember, even for the last semester of my stay here, my parents is still paying for my tuition for my last semester, and that's like 100,000 pesos. So be sure to save up a lot of money because this is not really cheap. It is very expensive. I hope to see you again, and if you have more questions or you want to know more about how to get here or how much is like the total expenses here, you can message me and I'll try to do another video. Thank you!